I made it to work. This is part 4. I'm going to wrap it up and land this plane. Sorry, I'm going on and on. So I opened my candy store, 2006. Opened my second business, my restaurant, 2016. Um, and learned a lot. Here's the thing about restaurants. There's a lot of working pieces. If you want to have freedom, this is not the business model for you. If you want to be free, not the business model for you. If you're not in a growing area, you have to start from scratch, which is what I had to do. It's really not the model for you. A couple years later, I had a problem with the management of the airport and they weren't supporting it. So I decided to open a second restaurant to get rid of the first restaurant. Except guess what? My pilots were really upset and they didn't want me to leave. And we had a good business there. We had a couple hundred, it was like 300,000. We only did lunch during the week, Wednesday to Friday. And then Saturday we did breakfast, lunch. Sunday we did just breakfast till 2. And, we sat 120. So I kept that one. That one actually I had for all 5 years. Then I opened a second restaurant. And this one was a takeover. It took 2 months to get the lease done. It was 6,500 square feet and was attached to a hotel. Again, another second gen restaurant where basically someone had put millions into it, building it out, and then just abandoned it. So it was empty for 2 years. I pursued them. I think, were still shopping it, and they kind of pushed me off until finally I said, I'm not talking to you anymore because obviously you don't want to do business with me. Then they magically wanted to sign the lease. I opened in 2 weeks. Like, where there's a will, there's a way. I opened in 2 weeks. That was Willie McCoy's, and then we had a trademark thing. We had to go to Willie Mack's, and I had that one for 2 years. 2018. So now I've got candy store, restaurant, and then in 2019 opened a second candy store because, more is always better, right? It's not better. So this is what happened. In 2019, my daughter had a baby, my first grandchild. And here I was all in on businesses. I was working. I had 42 staff. In 2019 summer, I had 42 staff, I had 4 businesses, and I was running them all. I didn't have any management, but I would go in the morning, 7 a.m., check the candy store, make sure that pull money, double check notes, go to the restaurant, open the restaurant at the airport, because we only did that one till lunch. That one was 11 to 2. Again, didn't need more than that there. Summer we tried some nights and stuff. But anyway, then I would do that one till 2 o'clock. Then I go from 2 o'clock, then I go to the third restaurant or the second restaurant, open that one for 4, be there until 10, 11, depending on the day. If it was the weekend and we had bands or live entertainment of all kinds, there's some other stories there, I'd be there till 1 or 2. And then go home, fall asleep, sometimes in the driveway, and start again. And then the candy store in Brattleboro, Vermont, started in 2019. It was October of 2019. So I opened that one. And so anyway, long story short is that, I wound up doing all these things. My daughter had a baby and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Just like that, everything can change and you can change your mind about what was important to you. Prior to that, it was all about more. I wanted more. I thought if I built more, it'd be worth more. It would pay me back, right? The goal was always someday I'll sell. So I thought, you know what? I'm done. Let's sell. Hire a broker who was actually my broker that had put me into one of the spaces. And I said, listen, I want to sell. So he looked at all the books, which is scary. There's a whole story behind that. He came back and said, don't bother. Just liquidate everything. And I was devastated. When I tell you that I had worked from 2006 to 2019, 13 years, right? That's 13 years, giving up time, money, energy, holidays, all the crap. And then for somebody to say, don't bother, it's not worth anything, was devastating. And so after I had a girl moment and had a little cry, I decided maybe he's right, but maybe he's not. So I gave myself a deadline. I set a date. I thought, okay, I'm giving myself 6 months. By the end of the year, I'm going to fix this and make it sellable and find a buyer, or I'll just close like he said. I said, I can do anything for 6 months, right? You can do anything for 6 months. So that's what I did. I decided, okay. And all of a sudden, by setting that date and that intention, that plan, it filtered everything else I was doing. You know how normally you get distracted. I was like, oh, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should try this. No. When you have a plan, when you have a set date and a set target, you're very focused on that mission and nothing else gets through. Might start to be shiny object and then you pull it right back in. So that's what happened. And within 3 months, because I had made some changes, I had a buyer. And we settled on terms in December, closing date February 2nd of 2020. Landlord kind of jerked us around, whatever. There's a whole other story to that. But the point is I realized in all of that, right? Changing my mind, building, adding more, all of this was to support me in what I thought would be good for my future. And my future was about retirement, about building up a livelihood for myself and freedom. And I realized all the business I had built did not do that. And so I had to change some things. And then when I wanted to sell and I thought this will be easy, I don't have to sell for a lot, I'll just sell. And it was a no. I realized, crap, I didn't plan for this. I planned to open, I planned to operate, I never planned for exit. And that sparked my whole dream and passion project about exit planning. And exit planning is not 20 years away. No, I'm sorry. It is 20 years away. It is not this year. It's not, oh, I want to sell, let's start. It's where are you going? What are you doing? And this is why this is important. All this experience, all this life lesson, all of how to build a loyalty program and increase your sales and start from scratch and grow your clients and build a list and all the things don't mean crap if you have no idea where you're going. I mean, if you went on vacation and didn't know where you were going, what would be the point? How would you know when you get there? How would you know which way to go? How would you know to make any decisions? Because you haven't set where you're going. And that is true for every business owner. This is why it matters. All this talking and all my history and all my story comes to this point, is that in your life, you have got to have a plan. Where are you going? Or are you just going through the motions? That doesn't even mean if you're a business owner. I mean, it's certainly true if you are a business owner, but it's true for life. What do you want? What are you aiming for? What are you doing? Or are you just going through the motions? We get numb to everything. We just are doing what we're doing in our pattern. And before we know it, your kids are grown. Your spouse dies. You get sick. You're not healthy anymore. You can't do the things. You can't travel like you wanted to. And it's over. I mean, this happened for me and I turned 50. And I was like, what the hell? So all of this, sorry, lots of talking. All of this is to say you need a plan for yourself. You need to plan. Most importantly, business owners, I'm talking to you. You have to have a plan. Where the hell are you going? 3 steps. What are you aiming for? When do you want to be there? And how are you going to get there? If you do those 3 things and you just think about them, it will filter everything else you do, and everything you do will be meaningful and purposeful and help you getting there because you've set the target. This is why this is important. This is why I'm doing this. This is why what I'm doing. And so what I'm doing now is very intentionally coming to a brand new area, knowing the model that I have. I have 1 store left. I modified everything else. And now I'm taking what I know, creating a simpler, easier model in a growing area, putting it here, and intentionally growing it for exit. Follow along.